happens.
It literally could not be closer right now after game 3. We're going to game 4. It's a 1-point gap between the top 2, but still, so many people can have a say on this tournament, and it's not even close to being over. We're past the halfway mark just now, and we still have 3 more games left to go.
I mean, every single person's having a different experience, game to game, off drop. I cannot predict what will happen this time. The bus path too, irregular, all the way on the bottom side of the map. It'll be so long until some of these players drop to their spots. That being said, the one to look out for is Epic Whale, all the way in first, landing authority, claiming ownership of, I think, the entire game and server right now, but can he hold on to it?
He's got to continue the high IQ plays that he's been hitting throughout the mid game, and also getting those rotations on cleaner than anybody we've seen so far. In the same situations that other players are in, literally the same rotation path that needs to be taken for others, Epic Whale is hitting them in the 4th zone without getting any damage taken on them. You might call it luck of the draw, you might call it the Battle Royale experience, but no, it's Epic Whale's skill at position and foresight in this game. We'll have to see if it continues for him. 2, nobody's fallen at all. I'm spawning with the bus has been out for quite a long time. You would have expected these 50-50 shy that you've been talking about, but it looks like the server has calmed down a little bit.
I mean, it's hot drops on Caddy Corner, Misty Meadows, and Slurpy Swamp. I feel like people are shaken up there. They're too scared to fight. Meanwhile, the rest of the lobby, I don't even think has landed yet all the way towards the top sides. Jack actually getting taken out.
Yeah, 2 big elims. Jack falling in his spot, I believe landing Slurpee. So that's definitely somewhere where we see some fights that end up going down, but also Avery picking up an elimination. So he's broken the curse that he had in the last game of no points. And moving forward now, at least 5, and also probably a better position, given how fast that fight was for him, a better position going forward in his early game.
I'm surprised Daddy P hasn't had more of a start after that first game. The confidence he looked like he had on all the fights we were seeing. Maybe it's because that game number 1's a little bit more free flow. He was in the storm a lot, going around boxes in a haphazard manner. Now it's a lot more controlled for everyone. Furious, someone who we'd see literally just pushing boxes as fast as possible right now, is kind of being a little bit more tactical, coming to every single building. And Lazy Lake does not have a single elimination down yet. There's still 5 people alive. Now, though, finishing their loot pads, and this is where the clash happens.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Furious will beam through. Okay, here's one. Don't make it 2 back-to-back. Daddy P is completely boxed up and has almost no path through. Another big one. No, it's only 33. Even footing on both sides, but Daddy P is still stuck. Thankfully, there's an escape out the backside. Furious left that open slightly, and Daddy P escapes. But still, 4 players, only 1 fell. And for the first time, and what is it, 2 games, Cool Penguin does not have Kit's loot. And there's Nanolight's drop spot. I forgot that he was actually landing at that bridge. Remember, he took out Rocks in that last game in the early fight. It's 40R Storm who has it for the, what is this? No, first time. Macon had it the first game. Cool Penguin, the next 2. 40R Storm has been getting this north side pretty much for free after game 1, but Kit has just not spawned there. That could be not crumbling in his favor.
I'm wondering how this mid-game will look now. Usually Nanolight and 40R Storm end up rotating together on one side, taking shots back and forth and making sure that no one else can really control the right side of the map. This time, with the Shockwave Launcher, he'll cut straight through the middle. Especially since zone is closing, he'll be faster than anyone else getting to shoot the peppers down.
And an important thing too, now that Kit spawned on that north side, the vault was opened fast, and he's out of there fast, which you're talking about the positioning that he's taking, the rotation path that he's making. He has the opportunity basically to completely avoid the situations that he's been going in time and time again, which is next to some of the other caddy players, and also getting into fights and involved in the mid game.
Unfortunate for Furious there. Even in the semifinals, I was tuning in a bit. One small decision has been costing him many points in these tournaments.
And the decision there is left shoulder peeking into a player he knew was there on the side of the cone, outside of the window. That right shoulder peek for Kabuto is strong. Strong enough to take out the NA East FNCS Invitational winner. And this now, Epic Whale has not had the glider gun the last 2 games. It looks like it's in the hands of D-Faves. Epic Whale trying to see if he can control. And notice how he's farming up the small amounts of metals in the railing on this map right here outside of the Authority. Making sure that he has at least the metal. You can farm brick, you can farm wood anywhere else on the map. But metal, it's very, very scarce these days. Back for the big pot. The no skin that you see right now is actually the agency cover up, the ghost henchman disguise.
No matter what happens in Epic Will's early game, glider or not, he's still making these end games. So if you're thinking that he might be a little bit disadvantaged because he doesn't have mythic loot, don't be worried. We saw last game what happens when he picks a good bush to hide in a nice base. And we'll be tuning into that Leafy Warfare right now. Blue Laser, 48 points. Has a chance to bounce back this game, but is going to need eliminations to do so. On to Kono right now, who we saw go for a fight last time in mid-game. It didn't go out really well for him. This time being forced into one when he tries to disengage. Claps back at Laser. He gets a little bit of shields down, and wow, what speed from Kono. Laser, though, nice reaction times on putting down that crash pad, surviving. Kono will still try to get in. Laser's only held up by just one wall. Now kind of really connected, but a very vertical crash pad that Kono straight up follows. Laser cannot escape this. He has the materials to stall this, but for how long? It's just not going to be enough. He's losing not only his whole loadout, his shields too, and his important mats. Back into the natural habitat of maybe a bush, but Kono's all over his walls. Laser now, though, has him really down to no shields, lower HP, just one ramp, keeping Kono alive in this game. And the tactical shotgun takes Blue Laser out.
That is beautiful. I know that fight might not have been that important. Of course, important for both of these players, but in the grand scheme of things, low points. But I love what Kono did in the final moments there. I'd love to see a replay of him pushing himself up the top of that ramp so that when it falls, he's on the other side of Konos, or of the other player. Sorry, Blue Laser. Nice play from D-Faves. Owl's now in a sticky situation. Thankfully, he can escape out the top, and that he does. D-Faves stays down.
This is one of these events that I haven't really seen Owl in endgame with a lot. And I think that's like his specialty. That's where he performs. I'm wondering it's because Favs and Epic Will are literally all over him in these early games. There is the golden loot. There are those mythic items. And Favs gets to pick and choose what he wants to keep.
You remember Owl fell in that first game off spawn, literally pretty much the first elim. Avery on the other side of Caleb. I think Caleb is hunting for this. They're maybe about to keep him held out, but an upgrade on the AR, that's nice. Avery's somebody who can definitely catch back up. He fell to 6, unfortunately. D-Faves as well fell after his first game to 14th with only 104, but it's close pretty much all the way up, back up to Avery.
His confidence in this position has to be so rocky. Already missing out on holding the first place slot, now still getting shot at. Pizzas, though, is picking up another. He's keeping his dream alive.
Yeah, unfortunate for Clutch. Looks like he disconnected or fortunately froze in place. So some free loot from the heavens for Pizzas.
This is pretty interesting. Okay, that's why. Zumba shots onto Wavy Jacob, a sniper rifle shot that echoes way past what he stands.
You know what's so interesting about Wavy Jacob right here is that early game, he's at Coral Castle or somewhere else up in the top side of that. There's that ramp flip I was talking about, Kono. A little too quick, but regardless, still an impressive play. But Wavy Jacob in the early game got smoked by Krizux in Misty Meadows and everybody else that was there. It wasn't just Krizux, but he had a huge influence, I think, fighting twice with Wavy Jacob. And something weird now is that Wavy Jacob, even though Krizix is not here, he left He's lost that confidence completely. Now watching Assault, 87 points for him. This is going to be really, really shaky. It's Adity who's found himself all the way at Pleasant Park now in a fight with one of the best players in the game.
And Assault has 2 more Slurpfish left to kind of get his HP up. He pops one. Actually, no, now he's just completely out. Out of metal, out of brick, out of time. And I feel like he knows that. His crosshair now is really going towards Adity, going towards these offensive edits. He's tired of just being on the back foot of these builds. The third parties are coming through too. Here's the all-in. It's not enough. Adity cleans him out.
I think Adity recognized the panic that Assault was in and the fact that it was a high ping player. I think that must have been the case because Assault was clearly telegraphing that. Going up layers, trying to build wide, trying to stay away from the spray. I mean, there was so much. Every time Adity came on a wall, he was backing away. That's the signs that you're playing against somebody who's high ping. And Adity takes advantage of it. Now 74 points. He's kind of started to get back into this from what we saw in the first 2 games.
You're talking about taking advantage. I feel like he's putting himself at a disadvantage right now in terms of loadout when it comes to moving past that 5th zone. Yes, he has the options with the floppers, but not having crash pads means he's going to have to just depend on recycles. And yeah, no big pots, no chuck splashes. He's now just operating with 50 HP overall. Or on the shields.
Here's the big man that we were talking about. He's gotten way over to where you were talking about, but still making his here somehow, some way. The caddy players seem to stick together no matter what happens. Moni down below, he's been having a very rough day, but been given so many big opportunities to really good players like 40R Storm. And again, the beams are there. The Shockwave launcher will be played like it's a semifinals game held by Reet, but 40R Storm, sure, he might have gotten the crack onto Moni, but instantly he's going to back away. He's got the damage he needs, and he does not need to be engaged in a fight where people are going to be finding their way over the top of the hill right behind him.
That was such a risky last spray from Moni. If I know someone has that shockwave launcher and they give me freedom for like half a second, they want to disengage, I am paying respects. I don't want to shoot back. 40R Storm is going to keep that respect up. Just wants to get in, just wants to rotate. But Moni knows now who the most lethal player in the lobby is and where he is exactly. Here's Mr. Chris. He's made about 2 end games so far, 100 total points. He's sitting in the top 20. Has a very similar style to Epic Whale overall. He's really playing for hiding out a bit, waiting for placement to come forth first, and then shoveling down big shots towards the end game.
He was in 4th place last game with the 4 elims too. The one that Nanolite ended up winning. We were watching so many different big storylines, but Mr. Chris has put himself in top 15, 101 points. We're looking at a mid to end game that is in one of the most open spots on the map and very little hills dividing everything. There's a couple of different peaks, but this is very reminiscent of the very old Lazy Links style end games where there's a couple of different peaks, but everything is visible from everybody in the lobby, which makes it so hard to move. And that's why you see people already making sure that they're somewhere within this section so that they have a hope and a prayer for the zone.
There's also nothing really left to recycle. Just a few trees that once you get to them are basically 1 HP already. I'm curious. I was about to say there's no way this fight is going down and no one's shooting over with tags. It's so high in the air. 2 org mates fighting each other, and Trix is trying to go even higher with these crash pads. He is not building, and this time Wood is not going to be in box fight range. He is in a perfect position to get a few more shots down. Coming back down to earth out of orbit, Howdy gets taken out. Trix finds the elimination, but he needs to really start to play safe now.
Oh no, Mr. Chris, who we just started talking about, is getting surged, and I think people recognize that because he's taking and popping minis consecutively without having anybody firing upon him. So Debo recognizes that. I wonder if Acorn does. He's gonna try to fire out. Yes, Acorn certainly does. And he goes for it now, trying to take the wall too, but the spray from the backside puts Mr. Chris so low. Who is gonna get the Elam credit? It's Acorn, yes.
That's a very dangerous person to give the credit to. He was top 5 at one point. Now he's in about 30th place. But if you give Acorn even an inch, he can take you all the way to the last zone. And now he has a full refresh of mats to use. Yes, it's only the 3rd zone, but the way this game's playing out, this is way more of a traditional Fortnite game. It's not going to just be everyone segmented into a small side of the zone. People will actually spread out for the first time in a while.
Yeah, but given how many people have tried to get over into this plane of openness, a lot of them are coming over from the west side of the map. So still is going to be some congestion on the side. It's almost as if the old convention of just playing center as it goes into 2nd and 3rd. Slightly better. Oh, Acorn does get the shot onto Toph. And that fight might continue. Toph in a rough spot. Make it on the other side of things. Looking at Pulo. Yes, he's down. And Macon gets the credit for it. 117, you know that 40-yard storm is going to be near here. Very near. And Knifer getting sprayed from all sides. That is not the loot that you want to go for. Not at all.
And that is a direct back-to-back leaderboard elimination. Knifer was just ahead or slightly behind Macon. 110 points overall. Macon was 112 before that elimination. So he's shoving people down, moving up towards 1st place. Look at the room he has right now. These are walls all the way around him, I'm pretty sure. So he's just looting through this as people are moving more towards central zone. But in 5 seconds, we'll see who has the advantage, who gets to have a say on who can cross the border of the next zone. It goes central. So just a few people, I think just 3, 4, or 5, everyone is in trouble. The alarm sounds in 360 degrees for the whole lobby.
This is Avery's chance to catch back into this. But with the 4th zone, I'm curious on a lot of other big names. Those at the top of the leaderboard. Avery was there for time, but only 1 game separated him, and he ended up losing so much. Here's the rotate. So far, so good. Not getting shot at all. And he's going to start building quite early before he's even close. And yes, finds himself a spot. A little greedy on the position, and he will take a tag because of it. Pushes his way into the zone, though, so I'm actually kind of worried now that the lobby fire is going to keep Avery down. I like trying to get a little bit more position in some cases, but almost always I want to box up as soon as I hit that zone line. But Avery opting for a little bit more.
Avery is right above Zumba right now, in game and in the leaderboard. And Zumba's been taking his position every game when Avery's not there to play out endgame. Zumba's the guy who's going for height. He's making crazy plays to hold down. So whoever survives here is playing that same play style.
But where are our top spots? Where are Epic Whale? Where are Nanolite? A big view of this 4th zone will give us a lot of insight. We obviously saw Turtle Tavern on the other side, but he's fallen so far away. So far away. Who Fishy in 4th place? He's right under Mark. They're trying to make their way in. There's Epic Whale. There's Cool Penguin. There's Nanolite too, right under 40-yard storm. So many different people not too far away from each other.
On one side is the top 3. On the other side of the zone, it's everyone who wants that spot. These guys do not want to let it go easily.
No Elim just yet for Epic Whale, and we saw how perfect he was on finding that impact, but he doesn't need it this time, though. Depending on where this 5th zone, he might have to go for something a little special. Here's Mitty. Oh, unfortunately, 3rd place player will go down to the hands of Crip. And also Benji, too. Crip might find another one. It's Cool Penguin on the other side of this. So much has just happened in that small layer, and Surge is now active. 40-yard storm also getting involved in a fight on the other side. I think just below where Crip is.
Crip is a ticking time bomb right now. 10 points only, meaning he could do whatever he wants to try to get his way up the ladder. Everyone else is playing their game. He doesn't really have a game to play right now. He can choose to go for a box fight with not that much pressure. The best choice for him, though, is to wait till the end pull what Bucky just pulled in the last game, go for crazy end game, impact frags, but does he have the control? Does he have the lack of greed to do that? There's a glider gun. It's Favs who has it. Glides right by. We saw him pick it up early. The Quinn's box to box with Crip. This is a very passive player who wants to play that prolonged game. Will Crip mimic that style? He actually finds his own path. Nano now also right beside him.
So the 5th zone revealed, but it's the 4th who's on height. 40R Storm has the shockwave launcher as well. And that's a big threat. But you've seen the different styles of the different players who has and gets that shockwave launcher. 40R Storm has not had it a single game. And now it's the chance for him to really climb his way back. As we've seen, decent games, but not the big one. And this is his opportunity. This is the hope that he was getting when he saw Kit on his side of Caddy Corner.
Every player here has a poker face. They're hiding in their cones, but I can see the tells. I can see Bucky now is not on low ground. He might be looking for height. I can see Avery eyeing out 40R Storm all the way near the top. Bukai is not near a Storm fight at all, but he is box to box with Acorn, who could be really troublesome next to these end games. Everyone is shooting towards the side that's actually not near zone, giving them a lot of trouble. Pisa's Nanolite, Wood, Epic Whale, all box to box. Colozo also making this end game.
It's going back through Salty Springs. There's definitely going to be old bills that will be in the way. How does everybody play this right now? Again, a big opportunity for 40R Storm, but Nanolite and Epic Whale are going to be the guys trying to hold on. And here we go. The 6th zone rotate is on. But man, there's so many people up right now. This is so dangerous for anybody to really make a move out in the open at all because everybody's so close to each other. Yes! 40R Storm with the shockwave. He's going to find Wood. Yes! Back against the wall. Wood now tries to take a little bit back, but 40R Storm might actually dive in that. Given the fact that he started moving forward towards that wall, I think there's an opportunity here for another Elan for 40R Storm, but no, he just gets the loot and now moves forward.
He's got options. 4 crash pads, 12 rockets with the shockwave launcher. That launcher will get him way ahead. He's still not really playing for height, and not any player can track where the shockwave launcher really is. He has a chance for height. He has it now. Yes, he's holding it. Top is right below him. Crash pads are going over. He's trying to get tags down. Fratby is also fighting towards the top. 40R is still in control. He's using these crash pads creatively, giving trouble to Beast, who's just trying to hold on to second height. Favs is moving up though. He has the glider gun, the biggest counter to the shockwave launcher. 40R is so confused. There's so many shots he can take, so many sightlines to look at. He just has to choose the right one.
And he will launch forward, save as much mats as he can, because right now he's just biding his time. People are using all their mobility, but also, oh, a shot out the air. Nice play for 40R Storm. Epic Whale is also going to be finding one too, so he's still up in this. We just had one of the nastiest 7th zone surges I think I've ever seen. And still players trying to crash pad their way through, but every chance, every time is an opportunity for 40R Storm to get another big tag. Who's that? Oh no, it's Nanolite again. Nanolite has done this so many times against shockwave launchers. He does not care, and that's how he won the last game. He ended up taking him out.
He thinks that 40R is out of rockets, though he has more than 10 still left in the tank. Meanwhile, Favs is just getting all this pressure up top that he doesn't have to really pay attention to. He has a glider gun. He's staying safe and secure down the bottom. Epic Will is also there in those builds. Now big crash pads going all the way around. 40R Storm gets launched all the way towards the front. He still controls height. Nano falls all the way down, taking minimal fall damage. Aiden is in the air, and 40R is hunting down now for the next eliminations.
This is such a difficult game right now. 22 players left, and we're about to go into the 9th zone with more than 20 alive. Still charged shotguns trying to be reached for 40R Storm.
Skyscraper right now for these builds. 40R Storm is in the penthouse suite. He's looking for the next shots down. It's a complete elevator that is out of order. No one can really climb towards the top spot he holds. Epic Will is trying to get off the bottom floor. He's trying to make his way up, but Colosso's a bodyguard. He has to make it forward, front, through. Favs is on Cool Penguin. Cool Penguin gets taken out. Yes, he does. Favs moves up the board, 151 points. 40R still chilling. Primetime sweep. Fratby and Kono, they're box to box, and oh my god, another quick refresh for Favs.
But Fratby will start contesting, so that penthouse suite looking out the window, he's not quite sticking with it right now. It goes right back up though, right up the elevator, still chilling for so much time in this ninth zone. 50 seconds left. There is still 14 people alive. 14 people with 45 seconds left on the game. This might go to a heal off. Nanolite falls finally. Has Epic Whale fallen just yet? I can't believe we're to the final zone with not a single big placement handed out just yet.
I feel like Fabs is the landlord though, and he's handing out eviction notices. There's one, there's a second. Move out, Epic Whale. It's over for you now. It's his time to shine. Fabs is staying in mid-ground, completely safe. Adity going down again, 240 yards, having his own battle to hold his ground near the top, save his home. Now in the same layer as Jeffers. He's going for shots. Jeffers is quickly wiped out. Legend DN makes another end game. Macon is here too in the same box as Fabs. Fabs, how are you still alive? Still doing so much damage. He gets taken out. 4 people still left. The ninth zone is closed. 40 yards all up in the air. Fast is taken up by Kono, and Storm wins the game. Oh my God. What an insane drop from height.
What just happened? In the span of seconds as the zone closed, all the last players were eliminated, and 40-yard Storm comes flying from the top of the mountain, from the top of that penthouse suite to hit the last shot on Kono. I definitely got to see a replay after that game, and we will do it after a quick break.
I'm walking alone. This is your door. I'm walking alone. I'm going home. I'm walking alone. This is your door. I'm walking alone. Going home. I'm walking alone. This is your door. I'm walking alone. I'm going home. I'm walking alone. This is your door. I'm walking alone. I'm walking alone. This is your door. I'm walking alone. I'm going home. I'm walking alone. This is your door. I'm walking alone. Going home. I'm walking alone. This is your door. I'm walking alone. I'm going home. I'm walking alone. This is your door. I'm walking alone.
Came here to stand and shine, different style, different vibe. Champion winner like Peps on mic. They should know I'm the next to strike. Told them this ain't a game, it's life. Only my team that I keep to my right. Tunnel vision and I'm seeing the light. Keep flying high when I'm up in the sky like kite. Know that I can't come down. Winning streaks so I can't lose.
Welcome back, everyone, to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite. This is the North American West competition, and we are all the way down to the grand finals. The top 100 players are going to be competing over 6 incredibly stacked lobbies and trying to claim the first place spot. And that spot right now goes to the one and only NRG Epic Whale, and it's not too surprising seeing how consistent he is over the 4 games that we've had so far, placing 12th as his lowest placement. But of course, following up him, we have some pretty strong players. Joining me, of course, we have Bala TW and Shio Wager. And guys, that 4th game ending there was absolutely insane. And I don't want to, make you guys nervous or anything, but 40R Storm was actually in chat, chatting with everyone, watching as you guys called that play. So, Bala, how you feeling?
Hey man, 40R Storm, the way he's playing, yeah, it's making me nervous, man. This is a stellar player, and he's playing at the top of the entire landscape right now. When he gets that shockwave launcher, and honestly, I think he might get it again in these next couple of games. But that allows him to stay alive. And for the 2 players at the top of the leaderboard right now who qualified for World Cup and played in those games, guess what? That experience is necessary to play in the games of quality of that one. That was beautiful. 20 players alive in the final zone. That is so difficult. And for Epic Whale, the guy who plays 3rd, that's why he's at the top right now, because he's used to it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's actually pull up some of the highlights that we got to see in that game number 4 for the grand finals here.
Yep, and this one was, I think, really different from everything we've really seen. People actually surviving in so many different search fashions. Some people, though, getting taken out super early. Here's Wavy Jacob getting sniped down by a Zumba near core castle / sweaty sands. Instantly eliminated, no chance whatsoever. Past that, Trix was doing his own thing in both fights near mid game. He was looking really fly. But after this 7th zone, everything just got so messy.
Yeah, it really did. And the final moments of this game too, it's very important to actually watch what happens, because that is one of the nastiest shots I think I've ever seen for 40R Storm off of high ground with the shockwave launcher and then hitting Kona with the little flick. He was about to go out of line of sight, but 160 to the head to make that count.
Whew. Let's actually take a look at the top 20 for the leaderboards here, and it seems like we keep seeing the same names now that we've moved on to the grand finals, sitting around the top 10. And of course, there he is, Energy Epic Whale in 1st place with 226 points, but Nano Light kind of giving him a run for his money, only behind at 217 points. And then we see the rest of the players starting to stretch out those total points. 40R Storm, of course, one of the players that we were just talking about, in 3rd, not too surprising there. And D Faves is going to be taking 4th place there. But I really want to give more emphasis on Epic Whale here. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place all have a victory royale under their belt. Epic Whale, though, no victory royale. Shia Wager, how is he able to do it?
I mean, consistency. You called it, Kelly. Bala said it before too, and I led with it in the start, right? It's just all about making every single end game and having an impact for each and every game played in the grand finals. If you can do that, if you can make every top 7, top 5, you will win the tournament.
And obviously, we talk about being passive, and these passive players are able to stick around towards the final end game there. But Bala, how do you, as a top player, as someone where people know where you're going to land, know where you're going to rotate, how do you keep consistently staying there like Epic Whale does?
Oh, it's been a while since I've been a top player, but yeah, Epic Whale landing at the Authority the way that he's doing it as a top player, it kind of changes. It shifts from opens, similar to what Caddy does. Authority actually becomes a very defensive spot. Like, those first games might have a couple of different people fighting off spawn, but after that, it's like, okay, who gets jewels? You're gonna have the glider gun, you're gonna run away, you're gonna open the vault, whatever you do, I'm gonna chill and let you do that, give you the space, because there's a lot of loot available. So if you could split that off with a couple of different people, you have a lot of safety. And so I guess in a sense, there's safety in numbers at the Authority, and there's no third party whatsoever, so.
Yeah, actually, I know that you guys had some clips that you wanted to talk about from game number 4 there. So Shia Wager, what was the really standout moment that you saw in game number 4?
For me in game number 4, it was a lot about these early picks overall, but also really about Favs and the way that he kind of just cleaned out that entire end game, kept his spot all the way here in the top 10, the top 5. I believe he's 4th overall right now. And I think he had about, 7 elims. I can triple check on that one. Yeah, 7 elims with a 3rd place last game, which is insane because we saw how the ending was for that game. It was just top players. playing perfect almost Fortnite, and he just found a way through the cracks. He got easy picks off every single time when he was around, and it was huge for Favs.
Yeah, Bala, I know that you definitely have a play that you want to talk about too.
Yeah, 40-hour storm, that last one. I mean, we saw it kind of in the highlights there, but let's take a look, a couple of these ones. Through the air, the first one onto Tickers, landing, and then hitting the shot on the solo tart that Tickers was trying to save some materials on. But still, the fact that he's up here in a game as stacked as this when people are playing as hard for placements as they are, Nanolite sure challenged 40-hour storm for a brief moment, but everything else went down to the wire, and here it is, knowing that this is gonna go down, the closure. And you can't even see that shot for the moment there for 40-hour storm. That was actually crazy. And that will end his game with a victory royale and 5 elims. He's pushed his way actually into contention after one game.
Yeah, any of these players can still take first place from Epic Whale. We do have 2 games to go, chat. This is going to be 6 games for these 100 players. But man, when was the last time, I don't think actually in the DreamHack Open that we've had in July and now in August, have we seen it go to 20 players in the 9th zone there? How exactly does that change up the game, Bala?
You know, it happens because everybody's playing passive. Everybody's playing very, very close to the chest when it comes to these mid-ground layers, and nobody wants to challenge height because I think they know kind of what's going on when they hear that shockwave launcher going up. But what it does is it gives room for players to really have huge games like DFAVs. I mean, Shai, you called it out. The guy had 7 eliminations in that game, maybe even 8, and that is a rare feat for anybody to pop off in an end game like that.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with Favs and just the way this 9th zone 20 player experience is going down is if you try to edit on someone, it's not even that you're playing passive, you just leave yourself open so much to a shockwave launcher, a random RPG you can't see coming. So a lot of these guys are paying attention to maybe 1 or 2 walls. Favs is in positions to actually just take off their back walls or get an easy edit off and thrive in these stacked 9th zone lobbies. So like, it's really cool to see that this is happening, and it's cool to see a player like exploit the fact that it's just so compact.
Whew. Well, before we jump into game number 5 here, which is going to be the second to last game, I'm actually going to ask chat before I ask you guys, who do you think is going to take first place in game number 5 here? And I know you guys don't like these predictions because who can predict it? It's Fortnite. But Shia, I'm going to make you do it. Who do you think is going to be taking this first place spot in game number 5?
I love predictions, and I'll split it halfway. My brain is saying Epic Whale because we're looking at him, we're talking about him every single standings update, and he's in first place. My heart says 40-hour storm. That was the sickest shot I've ever seen of all time.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with 40-hour storm too. I think he's gonna get caddy launcher again, and I think he's gonna do exactly that because I think these games are gonna get even more stacked towards the end game. And if he could stay on height, that's basically a free win. Of course, he will have to hit shots like he did in the last one, but I think he can do it. I think he's riding on momentum. I think we're gonna get a back-to-back win.
Ooh. It'll be interesting to see. I think those are pretty safe answers there. I'm actually going to go and say that Avery.
Safe?
Avery's, yep, safe. You picked first and fourth or third place. Those are pretty safe answers.
That's true.
I'm calling
That'll be a
Avery.
back-to-back
Avery's going to be
win.
taking first place in game number 5 here. We're going to find out how exactly that does fall into play, everyone. But we do have a quick break, so don't go anywhere. Game number 5 of the grand final is going to be coming up after this.